Hello again, everybody. This is Doug Auclair, aka Joff Online, owner of Logical Graphs LLC, continuing the arbitration series. For this particular video, we're going to cover arbitration in a straightforward manner, arbitrating around a cryptocurrency. So we're going to start with an asset, trade it to the pivot asset, and then arbitrate back to our original asset, hopefully making a profit. Now, the difference between this and arbitrating on the liquid staking derivatives boards on Team Kujira Fin is that this has a higher risk because if you trade to a pivot asset and that asset value goes way down, then you don't have an easy way of getting your original investment back, and you could possibly lose a lot of money that way. The advantage to using a pivot asset to convert your original asset to and then arbitrate back to that original asset is that there are usually higher returns on this. So it's higher risk, higher returns, but it's also a straightforward arbitration. Let's work with an example that I'm working with today, and that is I'm arbitrating USK using MNTA as the pivot asset. So at the beginning of the year, I started with 100 and let me share my screen. Okay, here we are on the Team Kujira Fin marketplace on the MNTA USK board. And you see that I have a sell order that's been fulfilled, selling 140 MNTA for 124 USK at a price point of 88 cents per MNTA. That's disappointing, isn't it? Because the current price point has rocketed up to 91 cents per MNTA. So disappointing, right? Well, let's walk through it and see why this is actually a profitable trade. I originally started at the beginning of the year by placing 115 USK for sale to buy MNTA, and I bought 140 MNTA with 115 USK. That means that the working price for MNTA when I bought it at the beginning of this year was 81 cents a share. So I then turned right around and placed it for sale at 88 cents per share, getting back 124 USK. So when I do the math here, I get back 124 USK. That's a 7.86 return on investment, ROI. And since it took only 3 days to execute that trade, that's 1,400% APR. That's a pretty good return on the investment. So I started with 115 USK. I made approximately 7-8% to get back 124 USK. I simply waited out the ups and downs of MNTA with the expectation that MNTA would eventually go up to a price which I had estimated at 88 cents per share. How did I estimate it? I simply looked at the sell orders and I said, okay, I bought it for 81 cents per share. And at the time, there were something looking like this around 88 cents. So I placed a sell order of the MNTA that I claimed just below the large MNTA sale, which at the time was 88 cents per share. Does this always work? No. So, sometimes you say, okay, Phantom is going to go up, and it does go up. Great. But sometimes it goes down and it keeps going down. And so you're stuck holding this pivot asset until it has a turnaround. That is the risk of taking arbitration with this. The reward for that risk is when an asset does go up, and it doesn't always go up, but when the asset does go up, then you're looking at a 10% return on that entire transaction. And if it happens in a period of days, like it did for me, then you're looking at 1,000% APR on your investment, which is hard to get in any industry, but not so hard to get if you're doing this kind of trading, which I call pivoting arbitration. I have an asset, USK. I pivot to MNTA. I follow the price movement on MNTA, and then I trade that pivot asset back to my original asset. So I trade MNTA back to USK when MNTA does have that up spike, and then I close the arbitration by taking profit. So let's close the arbitration. I get the transaction information, record it. I had pre-recorded this information. So each trade I pre-record, do the transaction, and then record the additional details. And have my results. Again, a straightforward arbitration, good profit potential, but along with that good profit potential is a much higher risk associated with it. So this is a standard kind of arbitration. You trade or pivot to an asset that's more volatile. So I'm pivoting from a stable USK to a much more volatile asset, MNTA. Let the price action change the underlying value of that asset of MNTA, and when that skyrockets, sell the MNTA back to my original asset of USK, and the profit is the realized return from the arbitration. Thanks.